is Newspoint at 11.
Good evening, I'm Gabby Gonzalez in for Tanae Howard tonight. Tonight on Newspoint, a premature baby stuck in Mexico finally back home. The dilemma the family went through, and tonight they're speaking exclusively to Fox 59. Plus, two roommates trying to turn a profit by bootlegging how they got busted. But first, gunfire erupts during a funeral procession. 3 people were hit out there. One of them, the alleged leader of a notorious gang, Richard Grundy III. The funeral was for his cousin, Jasmine Moore, who was killed outside of Long's Bakery earlier this month. Our Haley Bull is at police headquarters with the latest on the search for whoever pulled the trigger.
Police here telling us tonight this kind of violence will not be tolerated. They're asking anyone with information to come forward to help find those responsible for upending a family's final goodbye to a loved one. While family and friends tried to lay 28-year-old Jasmine Moore to rest at a northeast side cemetery.
How dare you not respect his family?
A life taken with violence, met with more.
Give them some peace and let them breathe. Disrespect their privacy.
Moore died last week after someone shot her outside Long's Bakery. Friend Jordan Easton says on their way to bury Jasmine, gunshots rang out.
Kids were hitting the ground, mothers were hitting the ground. There was kids crossing the street with their mothers.
This is something that will not be tolerated anywhere in the city. When we have multiple people shot, definitely raises concerns that we are not going to let slide by in any case.
Police say 4 vehicles, multiple homes, and 3 people were hit. 2 women and the alleged leader of the Grundy crew, Richard Grundy III. Grundy is Moore's cousin. Someone family members tell us was a mother herself.
People are, I don't know, kind of frozen now, and so for it to happen at a grave site,
Some at a nearby mosque say kids at their summer camp returned to find the street filled with squad cars. A scene traumatizing to the whole community here.
This city is wicked. This city needs to be prayed over.
At last check, all 3 shot were stable at the hospital. Grundy undergoing surgery. Again, police ask if you have any information to contact them. Downtown, Haley Bull, Fox 59 News.
Haley, thank you so much for that. And investigators believe the shooters today were aiming for Richard Grundy III. They also believe he was also the target of that shooting that killed his cousin, Jasmine Moore, as part of retaliation for another murder.
They're all in a whole group of family. They all belong in one group. So they're going through a lot. A lot of this is not about drugs. A lot of this is about retaliation. You killed my friend, I'm going to kill you. So this is what they need to be looking into.
No arrests have been made in either shooting. So who is Richard Grundy III? Police say he's a leader of the Grundy crew who is accused of being behind several murders here in Indianapolis. They're also accused of trafficking drugs from Texas and Arizona to Indiana. In early 2015, Grundy was arrested along with several associates following a police chase. Then in September 2015, he was charged with ordering the 2014 killings of 4 of his rivals. The following April, those murder charges were dropped. Grundy still faces multiple charges in separate cases today, including 2 counts of dealing marijuana, corrupt business influence, and criminal gang activity. He's also facing drug charges in Texas. Grundy is currently out on bond. A pretrial hearing is set for next week. No word yet on whether that will need to be rescheduled due to his injuries. You can stay on top of this investigation by going to our website, fox59.com. There you'll find any new developments as they happen. Well, a premature baby who was held hostage in a Cancun hospital is now back in the Hoosier State. We first told you about baby Beckham Ralph yesterday. His mother gave birth at just 28 weeks while on vacation in Mexico. His parents wanted to get him to the U.S. for specialized care, but that Cancun hospital had other plans, requiring a fully paid bill before releasing the baby. Beckham's aunt spoke exclusively to Fox 59, saying without the help of several Indiana politicians, they're not sure their nephew and his mom would have gotten home.
We just spent so much time focused on getting them out, and now it's like, all right, how is he doing? How is mom doing? I mean, from what we're hearing, this baby is amazing. I mean, his vitals are amazing.
So happy to hear that. The family is thanking the community for donating to help get baby Beckham home. More than $43,000 has been raised to help pay for all of those bills. Busted for bootlegging. 2 Peru men now accused of running an illegal alcohol operation. They're now behind bars. Roommates Kevin Kaufman and Brian Blackman are facing a long list of charges after police found winemaking materials, drugs, and cash inside their apartment. Fox 59's Lindsay Eaton shows us how a customer helped crack this case.
When was the last time you heard of a bootlegger?
A bootlegging business, hundreds of full bottles and even more bottles lining the shelves waiting to be filled. Detectives tell us these pictures give an inside look at the illegal operation these two roommates were running.
It is kind of an unusual case.
Kevin Kaufman and Brian Blackman. Police believe the two men were making wine in their Peru apartment. Investigators found notes taped on bottles labeling the alcohol content and a sign that says "Welcome to the Slapberry Winery."
It looked like an operation that had been going on for a while.
This investigation started when officers received a tip that led them to Kaufman and Blackman's apartment. One of the men reportedly sold some of their homemade alcohol to an undercover officer.
The excise police alleged that these two gentlemen both manufactured and sold wine for $20 for 3 bottles.
Indiana has some of the strictest alcohol laws in the country. Cold beer can't be sold in convenience stores, and only bars and restaurants can sell it on Sunday.
You know, the alcoholic beverage laws in Indiana are pretty schizophrenic.
Miami County Prosecutor Bruce Embry tells us it's not illegal to make your own wine. It's illegal when you start selling it, and it could be dangerous to whoever's buying it.
You don't know how it was made, you don't know what's in it, you don't know the sanitary nature of the process. It's just a risk.
Police not only found winemaking equipment, but also marijuana, meth, and $1,500 in cash. When Kaufman was questioned, he admitted that he manufactured alcohol beverages, but denied selling them. In Peru, Lindsay Eaton, Fox 59 News.
Kaufman and Blackman each face charges for drug possession and paraphernalia, as well as charges for selling untaxed alcoholic beverages without a permit and maintaining a common nuisance. Well, a Greenfield bartender is arrested in connection to a fatal crash. Listen to this. Police say in April, Anthony Helsley served several rounds to 2 men who were already intoxicated at Rose Bar and Grill. Scott Wynn and Mitchell Wadley left that bar and crashed. Both of them died. Helsley is charged with 2 misdemeanors and also faces citations. A convicted sex offender finds himself in jail again. Police say 26-year-old Damian Neese of Lebanon violated the terms of his community corrections and probation agreements by going onto Facebook. Neese has been convicted of sex crimes against children in 2012, 2014, and 2016. He was serving those sentences at home.
In many cases, the only way to prevent certain individuals from offending as children is to remove them from access to children.
Neese is due back in court later this month. Happening now, the FBI is asking for your help finding this man. Take a close look. He's a person of interest in a child sexual exploitation investigation. He might be living here in central Indiana. FBI agents call him John Doe 38. The child involved wasn't able to identify him. Now the FBI is posting his photo on 4 digital billboards around Indianapolis in the hope someone knows who he is. A Fox 59 crime tracker alert. Vandals hit a Greenwood drive-in restaurant a second time. The Suds shared these pictures on Facebook. The vandals ripped table linings, turned over a bear statue, trying to steal a sign, and broke memorabilia there. The restaurant thinks at least 5 people are responsible for all of this. The same place was hit by vandals a few weeks ago. Police are also searching for the person who robbed and shot a gas station clerk on Indy's near southeast side. The gunman went into the Marathon gas station at East Raymond Street and Sherman Drive around 3 a.m. demanding money. Officers say the clerk handed over the cash, but the gunman shot him in the leg anyway. The car involved in a deadly hit and run this week has been found, but the driver is still on the run tonight. IMPD officers say they found the Dodge Neon that hit and killed motorcyclists at 52nd and Lafayette Road Tuesday night. 35-year-old Sultan Arif died at the hospital. This Mooresville mother won't be getting out of jail anytime soon. A judge revoked bond for Megan Price. She's the woman who's accused of planning the death of her 5-year-old son. Earlier this week, Price was also charged for threatening to kill her sister at the courthouse and trying to sneak a knife into a hearing. New on Newspoint, 50 firefighters respond to a fire where a Hardee's restaurant used to be. Crews were called to this building on West Washington Street around noon today. The building was vacant. Damage is estimated at $50,000. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Well, it's as humid as a night as you'll find in a summer in central Indiana. It's the middle of July, and we're going to take a sneak peek in Windfall right now in Tipton County. It's fairly quiet out there. It's rather humid, and it certainly is as muggly as it gets. But we've been watching a slow-moving thunderstorm off to the east, and this is where the camera's directed. And at times, we've seen a flicker or flash of lightning out there. If you get underneath a thunderstorm tonight, it has the potential of producing a downpour or two. With further inspection, here is Windfall, northeastern Tipton County. There's some rain out there, but it's moving very, very slowly off to the east-southeast, and a handful of downpours now dot parts of Howard County back towards White County, Clinton County, back into Illinois. Frontal boundary is stationary right now. It's along that boundary that the jet stream kicks in, and a few more thunderstorms may grow in coverage. A couple of downpours are possible. Closer to home and into Indianapolis right now, it's dry and it's very, very warm. 85 degrees downtown, 83 right now in Noblesville. You can see it, you can feel it. The dew point as high as it ever gets at 77 degrees right now. Folks, that's even rather high for South Florida. It's 81 now. We've cooled back a degree or two, but when you factor the temperature with that high level of humidity and a heat index that hit 95 to 100 today in Lafayette and went up to 106 in Terre Haute, it still feels like it's near 90 degrees in Indianapolis. Our heat index hit 101. Feels like it's 91 right now in Muncie. Well, the radar is quiet right now, but there are a few spotty showers and thunder showers to the north. We're looking further to the west. We find the stationary front here, and it's along this front that the heat and humidity is trying to build east, and it's going to have success. A few storms are around the area. The chances are there overnight, and more likely again Friday into Saturday, Saturday into Sunday. Repeat performances. The overall pattern isn't breaking. In fact, it's getting hotter and more humid. Heat advisories have been expanded now into parts of Indiana, especially south central Indiana. We'll talk a heat index at 105 the next 2 afternoons, the hottest air in a couple of years, and when more importantly, we'll get a break in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian, thank you. Still to come tonight on Newspoint, no one likes shelling out money at the B&V, but now the B&V could owe you money. We'll show you how you can get a piece of a $62 million situation. Plus, fidget spinners under investigation. Why Russia says these toys are poisoning young minds against the government there. In your news flash tonight, O.J. Simpson will soon be a free man. A Nevada board granted Simpson parole today. We all know he was famously acquitted for that 1994 murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. But in 2008, he was sentenced to 33 years after he and a group of men robbed two sports memorabilia dealers at gunpoint. Prison officials say he's maintained a low profile behind bars for the last 9 years. Simpson could be released as early as October 1st. President Donald Trump is warning special counsel Robert Mueller against digging into the First Family's finances beyond the Russia scope. The special counsel is now investigating possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. They're examining a broad range of transactions involving President Trump's businesses. The president threatened he might start talking about Mueller's conflicts with the investigation if the former FBI director crosses that line. Russia is investigating fidget spinners after reports claim they zombify young people. Listen to this. Several reports in state-run Russian media claim activists and politicians who oppose President Vladimir Putin are using the toys to hypnotize and manipulate young Russians. Another report points out that fidget spinners' packaging is written only in English. Russia's Consumer Protection Agency is now investigating. Okay, getting from New York to D.C. may take less than 30 minutes. Elon Musk, the mastermind behind SpaceX and Tesla, says he's received verbal government approval to build the underground Hyperloop network. It would shuttle commuters between New York and D.C. in 29 minutes. That would be awesome. It would also stop in Philadelphia and Baltimore. Musk says there is more work to be done before the project gets formal approval. A Fox 59 consumer alert, you could be getting money back from the B&V. The B&V has to pay out more than $62 million to Hoosier drivers who they overcharged. Today, attorneys announced a class action settlement with the B&V stemming from a period between 2002 and 2014 where they overcharged Hoosiers through fees including registrations and IDs.
But what's really sort of disturbing is that the evidence at trial was that the BMV, when they found out they were overcharging, going back to 2003, never changed it.
The average settlement is expected to be between $1 and $50. A new billboard is up on the east side tonight. It's a response from the Muslim community to this billboard that went up last month. The original billboard was titled "The Perfect Man," seemingly mocking the Prophet Muhammad. But now the Muslim community has responded with their own message, which they say is more positive. They say they support free speech, but want people to know the truth about their religion.
So we want to show them that this is our country. Muslims belong here as Americans, and we have a history of 500 plus years.
That new billboard will stay up for about a month. Today was the last day of work for hundreds of Carrier employees. The business is laying off about 300 employees this week at its factory on Indy's west side. Several hundred more jobs will go away later this year, too, as Carrier moves the bulk of its operations to Mexico. You'll remember they had planned to close altogether, but President Trump negotiated a deal to save some of those jobs. The future of several former Mars stores is uncertain tonight. Kroger bought 11 stores in the metro area after Mars filed for bankruptcy, but says it doesn't know what it's going to do with 4 of them yet. Kroger says it will renovate 7 of those stores, but has no plans for the one at 86 and Ditch in Indy, one in Fishers, Greenwood, and Bloomington. Some worry the buildings will stay vacant.
Honestly, if that's what ends up happening, I won't go to Kroger, and I know a lot of my neighbors are in the exact same boat, that we aren't going to shop at Kroger if their only reasoning for buying this was to shut it down and drive away competition.
Kroger representatives tell us they'll work to figure out what to do with the 4 buildings. New on Newspoint, the Humane Society of Hamilton County has $5,000 more to care for animals. It's all thanks to a donation from AT&T. The money will be used specifically to treat animals who desperately need medical treatment.
Got to keep an eye on the pets and as well as the back seat. Beat the heat, check the back seat. We say this over and over again because there have already been 26 fatalities due to children being left in the cars. That's incredible. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, folks. We had a heat index of 101 in Indianapolis. It'll go even higher tomorrow, likely to reach 104 to 108 in many locations. Storm chances, they're minimal overnight. A couple may occur. There may be a downpour or two, but it will be a stuffy and very warm night. Most areas will be rain-free. A temperature that only drops to 75. Even at this hour, the heat index is near 90. Well, it gets hotter the next 2 afternoons. The storm threat is there, especially late night, early Friday morning, late night Friday into Saturday morning, and again Saturday night into Sunday morning. A cold front will pass Sunday night, so storm chances are there, but there'll be plenty of time to get hot, get humid, and finally get a break here by Monday.
All right, Brian, thank you. Now to tomorrow's headlines and talking points. Indiana University will host the 28th annual Best Buddies Leadership Conference. The conference celebrates the impact mentors have on young people. The Indianapolis Museum of Art will present a workshop on dyslexia. The workshop will break down how dyslexia affects people and discuss artists who share this learning difference. It's $5 for IMA members to attend. And IPS's new food truck will be making its last stop before school starts. It will stop at the Stratford apartment complex on Watergate Road at 12:15. Okay, when it comes to wine, specifically rosé, the world just can't seem to get enough of it. It now comes in the form of jelly. Yes, a company called Drunk Jelly is selling these rosé jellies to spread on your toast, crackers, or bagels because I guess some people need some wine with their breakfast. The jelly is available in a number of flavors, including Merlot, Rosé, Pinot Noir, and Chardonnay. So what's the point here? Despite its name, the jelly is really a non-alcoholic. It costs anywhere between $6 to $9 and is available on Etsy. That's some false advertising right there.
I know, they've been making the real thing like that down in Mississippi for decades, so that's nothing new.
You got the scoop.
And no
on
false
that.
advertising back home in the South. Hey, speaking of the South, we're talking NASCAR, the 400